Good evening and welcome to our October 18th, 2022 City Council meeting. Time is 7 p.m. Meeting is now in session. Tonight's invocation will be led by Pastor Mason Okubo from Emmanuel First Lutheran Church, and Councilwoman Lopez Viado will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please.
Mayor, council members, thank you for this privilege. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, guardian and keeper of your people, watch over the members of our city council and protect them and grant them wisdom and joy in their service. Help us all not to look forward in fear, but rather to look forward with hope. Help us to see opportunity in change. As changes arise, lead us safely through all trials and tribulations, and when we cannot stand it, carry us in your arms. Show us how to serve in effective ways that we might make the world a better place. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Assistant City Clerk, roll call, please.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Councilmember Tabatabai.
Present.
Councilman Wu.
Here.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Here.
Mayor Castellanos.
Here. Closed session was canceled this evening, so there's nothing to report from there. So we'll move on to presentations. First presentation will be for a certificate recognizing the Fire Prevention Week poster contest winner. To present the certificate for the Fire Prevention Week poster contest winner, can Fire Chief Vince Capelli please come to the front? Oh, sure. We'll postpone that. No problem. So then we'll move on to the second presentation, which will be the certificate recognizing firefighter engineer Jamel Gibbs for organizing the 9/11 Memorial Softball Tournament Chili Cook-Off.
And there's a testing.
And to present that certificate, Chief Capelli will do the honor.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, staff. We have Engineer Jamel Gibbs here. This year he decided to put together a 9/11 Memorial softball competition and chili cook-off. It was a great idea. He worked tirelessly, mostly by himself, to put it together, and got fire departments, police departments together and other people to come and have the event, and had a chili cook-off. It was a really nice event. And I really appreciate him. We just wanted to honor him tonight. Council wanted to honor him tonight. We just want to thank you for looking out for our community, looking out for 9/11, and just putting on a really nice event. And I really appreciate that, and I thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. First, thank you to Council. Thank you guys for letting me have the event, first of all. Thank you to Roxanne. She was my right-hand person to go to for this event. So the community, thank you, Chief. Thank you to the fire department. Honestly, I didn't expect to get anything for this. I actually did this because I honestly just like bringing our community together. And I think this is the best way to put us on, no pun intended, on the same playing field. So this was, I think, a great opportunity to bring outside departments, outside sources, our community, our local businesses together, and just have a day and have fun. So we're looking forward to next year. We're going to make it hopefully 3 times as big, and try to do this every year. And just we're also giving scholarships out to West Covina Unified. That's the purpose of the whole thing. So we raised enough money. I think we can actually give out 2 $1,000 scholarships to students this year.
Jamel, before we proceed, Councilwoman Lopez Viado has a question for you.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to thank you very much. I attended the event. It was fabulous. It was really nice to have fire and police from different cities, multiple cities. I know when I was there, I'm like, who's playing? We didn't know what to expect, but I understand it's the first year. I would love to have the other cities be promoted as well. It was nice meeting their families, their friends who came out to support them. My question is, who won the tournament? Or the top three, at least?
The top two were Orange County Fire Authority
Orange County Fire?
and our Covina Police Department.
Covina PD.
They were the final two.
Ah. They were all looking sharp, and they all dressed in their uniforms. And chili tasting was delicious.
And that was Bun Street 1.
Bun Street, yeah. It was good. But thank you very much. We were proud, and we look forward to next year, definitely. Thank you.
Maybe a little more practice so we can. Yeah, right.
Any other questions? No? Anything else to say, Chief?
No, I just want to, again, thank Jamel for putting it together. I mean, it's a great event, and I was excited that we were doing this, and everybody's talking about it in the fire service. I got a lot of calls on it. So we are looking forward to next year. And hopefully West Covina Fire will take the, I'll sit on the bench, so they'll do better.
What was the total amount of teams?
This year was only 12.
12 teams? How many cities? I mean, they're all...
12 cities. Between
With-
West Covina PD and West Covina Fire, and then everything was out from Glendale to Hermosa, Pasadena, Pico, it was kind of everywhere.
Oh, okay.
County.
Perfect.
Next year, we're going to put it out early so we can actually get up to 16 to 20 teams, and we can use all 6 fields. So we can double them up with players. The rain kind of shuts down a little bit, so run a little longer. Other than that,
It was still great. All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Join you up there for the certificate.
Oh, certificate. There's a certificate.
We have the video.
Oh.
We have the video. You got the video. We got the video.
There's a video.
The video, my son's editing major at Chapman College. So he was there the whole day taking pictures, taking videos. So this is what he came up with, which will be posted to all our social media. So this is the product. I haven't even seen the whole thing yet. So
Great job.
Perfect. Go ahead, Chief.
We're ready to just go now. You want to come up?
Yeah, we'll go up.
So our next presentation is the 2022 Fire Prevention Week poster contest winner. I'd like to call up our winners from Vine Elementary. So we have Jalen Fleitas. Oh, I got it right. And we have Principal, I'm going to mess it up, Levesque. So this year, we did the same as we did all the other years, is we reached out to West Covina Unified School District and Roland, and we asked their 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders to do a poster don't know if we brought the poster. Do a poster that depicts what the theme of this year's Fire Prevention Week was. And we had all the students do it, and the schools were to narrow it down to one winner in each grade. And then we were presented with them. We posted them up at our Fire Prevention open house a couple weeks ago, and Jalen won. But let's say, I want you to know that she won last year too. So she's got this down. And so what will happen now is Vine Elementary will get our plaque, and it'll go up in their school for a year, and Principal Levesque will be able to talk to all the other principals of how amazing they are and beat all the other schools 2 years in a row, and hopefully the other schools will step up, and next year maybe Vine will win again, maybe Jalen will win again. But what also you should know is that the poster will be put into a magnet and put on the fire engine in her district, and will stay on the fire engine and ride around on the fire engine for a month. And I have a certificate here. Do you want to give me that, or do you want me to? We have one. It's like 8.5 by 14. It's not that big. So we have a certificate for the principal. Thanks, Mayor. I think you should do that. And a certificate for Jalen. And we want to thank you for your hard work. It was great. It's already on a magnet and on the fire engine. That's why we don't have it here. So sorry about that. Or else we show everybody. But it's on our social media. Thank you. Would you like to say anything? Are you sure?
Sure. All right, so we just want to thank the fire department. They do such a phenomenal job of coming in and getting our kids excited with some great assemblies. So they definitely hyped up our 3rd through 5th graders to participate this year. And we are extremely proud that Jalen kept us on the map, and we get to keep the plaque again this year. So thank you for that. Go Vine. All right, thank you.
I would like to add that this nice gift basket is going to Jalen and her family, and we'll give that to you. We're going to take some pictures outside, and we will be presenting the plaque at Vine Elementary tomorrow morning. We'll have the fire truck out there, fire engine out there, and we'll be presenting it to as an assembly there at the school. So it'll be a good time. Mayor?
Congratulations. Congratulations, and keep up the good work. I hope you do something with this great talent you have, and congratulations to the principal. I actually went to Vine Elementary for a couple of years, so it makes me happy to see this happen. Congratulations. Congratulations again to both of our presentations, to Jamel Gibbs and to Vine Elementary. Moving on to oral communications. If anyone would like to address the council, please fill out a yellow speaker card and submit it to the Assistant City Clerk. And Assistant City Clerk, how many cards do we have?
We have 7 speaker cards.
Okay.
Our first speaker is Herman, followed by Mike Greenspan, followed by Rosa Rios.
Yep. Somebody let the bat out of the cave. But anyways, knowing that somebody was killed off of Amar and Azusa, it's not too amusing. I suspect that there are issues and problems within the state of the city addressed for 2021 and 2022 at this point. And I'll read into the record the issues regarding scandals. Aren't we all about scandals and news? Well, here's one, a powerful one. overconfidence, narcissism, these traits of a politician can and will backfire. Did you hear about the fat lady from the city of Los Angeles? Nuri Fat Martinez. Racist rants about little changuitos and changos. You know, when Ridley Thomas was down there about less than a year ago, I called the gentleman a chango, for the record, and he found that offensive. Now we find out with this transparency that you guys hide behind closed doors that I guess we're all called changos and changuitos. Parece changuitos, right, Mr. Mayor? Is that right? But let me finish my point. So the backfire of these flawed results, a system of corruption, corrupt shithole pencil neck politicians have to face today, is that you're going to be criticized. Just like in this picture with Kevin DeLeon and UCLA Gilbert Siddico. In addition to that, let me read into the record the results of the second claim for relief. Violations of the First, Fifth, and 14th Amendment of Article Section 2 of the California Constitution regarding enforcement of unconstitutional rules and decorum, well, they've been violated already. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've read this maybe 200 times before a judge, and the judge says, how far is the nigger going? Yeah, this is what they're going to do to the niggers. A dirty nigger. Send the Jews back to Israel. Let's send them back to the garden and save America. Brandenburg versus Ohio, U.S. 395, 444, 1969. California versus Whitney. And what other jurisdiction of court do you want to hear about Bautista? Maybe Phelps versus Phillips. Maybe the United States versus Bagdasarian, when a Pasadena resident simply said, I'll put a .50 caliber to the president's head. Now, whether or not that's interpreted as a threat, according to the FBI and the people of Homeland Security, who confirmed with me at my home and said, sir, did you make these allegations? And I said, most definitely, sir. They were taken from the court dockets, and I presume that they were correct politically and functionally by the judicial system of the Supreme Court. And so in my record, matter of fact, in a statement from the courts as they initiated this conversation to me, Ninth Circuit overturns convictions of threats against Obama. Oh, let the charges be read into the record regarding Obama. Fuck the nigger. He will have a .50 caliber in the head soon. Posted at 1:55 a.m. Now, political speech can be vulgar and be subjected to some opinionated clowns that want to suppress our free speech. But if you want to be a part of the American dream, you'll reach out and just look at me. A man in a mask for COVID. A man in a cape called Batman. Does Batman exist? Is there any justice in America when asshole politicians can talk shit behind our backs and then remap our districts to separate us from black to Latinos to Asian? That is horrible. That is horrible. And that's the reason why California is so fucked up. Because we allow shitholes to do things behind our backs, put us in a deficit, keep raising our taxes, keep forcing our children to be moved out of our community. And for what reason? Greed, selfishness, pencil neck, pointed ears, bald asshole politicians. No offense, Brian. No offense, Dario. But it's a fucking fact. Thank you.
Mike Greenspan, followed by Rosa Rios, followed by Ernesto Garcia.
So who do I submit these to the record to, sir?
Thank you.
Mike Greenspan, and this Jew's not going back to Florida. Anyway, now I do have to talk about a couple things. I want to apologize to everybody who watches TV, listens to KNX or other radio stations for this big pollution going on about a guy named Rick Caruso. Every single chance Rick Caruso has had, he gave to this candidate running for city council in the 2011 election, and for re-election in 2015, and for supervisor in 2016, named Mitchell Englander. In fact, there's an actual case of corruption. I mean, I really want to believe the guy. I would rather go to Reverend Jimmy Swaggart's church and hear a sermon against prostitution to hear Caruso talk about corruption. He's what you call an enabler because he gives money to Englander. And Englander has a case number 220CR00035JFW1. Yes, a bunch of people went to Las Vegas, and he got money bribes, hotel room bribes, liquor bill bribes, and an escort, i.e. pussy bribes. Can he go home to his wife, Jane, and get some strange? I guess not. Because developers expect results when they give bribes. They don't just give bribes to be good people. They give bribes to, like, this part-time pig, Mitchell Englander, not for what he was doing on the force, but for what he was doing on the city council. I don't have enough time to go into all the crooked Los Angeles pig department crooks, the nigger and the bloods, the two cops in Hollywood that were raping women. I mean, there's so many things it would cause your spine to just chills would go up and down your spine. So, yes, Caruso talks about the police. Of course, he didn't mention the fact that he's for a sales tax increase to fund them, so they could actually rape you, like the two pigs in Hollywood, the two Starsky and Hutch guys. Yes, I apologize for all that. And then I live down the street from the district that has fat-ass Nuri Martinez, former council member. Because, after all, maybe I should teach those racist wetbacks a new word, pickaninny, darky, because chonquito's not enough. Chonquito, is that I thought that was a wetback corn chip. I did not know it was a racist term. But they're racist against us whites. They're anti-Semitic. They'll tell me, go back to Florida, you Jew. Now, I saw from the last time I was here, you started filming my face because the back of my shirt and its art offends some people. So maybe we should have other little things for the cameras just to show them. In case you want to film the face. But we just need to have better elected officials. Now, I'm not saying anybody here could wind up in federal prison, but if they go the Englander route, they sure will. If they go the Weezer route, boy, will they. His brother's going to rat him out. His brother pled guilty and doesn't want to get as big a sentence as Jose Weezer. So it's going to be nice. I mean, Weezer may have gone to Salesian, but when he is finished and all them willies put their wonkas in his bitchy chocolate factory, even though he's not Jewish, he will be bat mitzvah qualified as a prison bitch. And that'll be nice to see. Maybe KTLA could come out there and do a human interest story with their union steward, Eric Spillman. And they could interview Willie after the bat mitzvah. And Willie could say, "That's my bitch!" Because Weezer's going to be the prison bitch, and it'll be fun to watch. Maybe you guys can help. Do we go to Walmart or do we go to Target for the bat mitzvah registry? After all, just because he went to Salesian doesn't mean he shouldn't have a bat mitzvah, because after being the bitch, he's going to be so bitchalicious, it'll be fun to watch. Now, let me submit this for the record as I close, and wanted to thank the pastor another time.
Rosa Rios, followed by Ernesto Garcia, followed by Elsie Mesman.
Good evening. Good evening. I've been doing a lot of praying. I've been asking God to give me the right words that I can convey my message across without insulting or disrespecting anyone, because I like to treat people the way I want to be treated. So with that said, are you guys familiar with Aiden Leo's case? He was the 6-year-old who was murdered on May 21st, 2021, 4 months after my daughter was murdered. And the sequence of events about his case, the way his murder was handled, was completely the opposite of how my daughter's murder was handled. Within 2 hours from the shooting of Aiden Leos, the California Highway Patrolman had a press conference. And immediately, within 2 hours, within 6 days, May 27th, District Attorney from Todd Spitzer had another press release on May 27th, and he partnered with the CHP, with other agencies as well, and he made a promise on air. He goes, we may not get you today, we may not get you tomorrow, we may not get you next week, but he came out guns blazing, and he said he was going to bring justice, and he did. It took 15 days from the date that Aiden was murdered. Same events as my daughter. The only difference is that he's 6 years old. My daughter's 29. His happened in the daytime as he was going to school. My daughter was going back home just to enjoy her tacos and a quiet evening with her husband to watch Halo. My question is, why? Why? When we met with the police department, they actually asked us not to speak to the media. I had Channel 4 at the doorsteps of my house asking for comments, and all I can think about is what the police department asked me not to do, what the detectives asked us not to do. Do not speak to the media because you guys may compromise our investigation. And obviously, that's the least I want to do. That's the least her husband wanted to do. And we respected that and we obeyed. When I saw the news about Aiden Leos, I could go back to that day. I was sitting in my living room and I could see all the attention that was being brought to him. Great. You know, the community rattled behind it. Other businesses came together. Other cities rallied together as well. And they all collected more than five. It's not even about the money. It's not even about the money for me. But they collected over $300,000, even $500,000 towards the reward of the murder of this little guy here. Nothing happened to my daughter. Not one. No one made anything about it. No comments. As a matter of fact, there's a news that came to the police department in West Covina and asked for a statement, and they chose not to say anything. Why? And all I want is accountability. In my book, I feel that was just gross negligence, that the city of West Covina, the police department, did nothing. We had sheriffs offer assistance. We had marshals offer assistance to help with the investigation. They were both declined. Why? Now it's going up to 2 years. And then to add insult to my wounds, not only salt, not only alcohol, but probably acid, where her billboards were taken down. How is the community supposed to know that her case is still unsolved when her reward is gone down? Nobody knows about it. And then the billboard that's right across from my house, West Covina, right across the Rim dealership, we were told that the main purpose and objective of that billboard is to bring revenue to the West Covina. That is so disappointing. That's the purpose of those billboards, just the way the purpose of the cameras. They were not built to catch criminals. So we got to change. We got to change to the way we're operating here, because this speaks volumes the way they did it. And because he acted, they trusted the media and social media. This is the results. Thank you.
Ernesto Garcia, followed by Elsie Messman, followed by Wen Zong.
Good evening to you, council members, and all who serve our great city. My name is Ernesto Garcia, and I've lived in West Covina since shortly after my wife and I were married in 2002. We've managed to buy a home here, raise a family here, and for the most part, live a peaceful and happy life in this community. My daughter Bella is here with me tonight. She's the president of the student body at West Covina High School. She did not know I was going to bring her up, and I hate to embarrass her by doing so, but I do it in order to ask you all a few very important questions. There is a man in our town named William Elliott who, from all indications, has what I consider to be an inordinate amount of influence on this council and city. He has stood in front of this council and other iterations of it to plainly state that West Covina should recruit more white people to it because their numbers are, quote, waning. He's referred to all the bullet points from the conspiracy that is the Great Replacement theory and spoken against the adulterated version of critical race theory. This man is on the record referring to young Latino DACA recipients as cockroaches. And he has done this in a city where 52% of the population is of Latino descent, a population which includes my daughters. Bella already has political aspirations beyond high school, so I'm here to ask you, with my daughter in mind, and maybe your daughter or son too, would you advise her to associate herself with a man like William Elliott if it advanced her political career? Would you tell her it was a good idea to seek out Mr. Elliott's advice on political matters? If she continues to be especially good at running for positions in government, would you think it honorable of her to govern with the ideals and conspiracies that Mr. Elliott has espoused? As you may have guessed already, I'm here today because I believe that one of the people running for a council seat has made the error of using Mr. Elliott's name and efforts to get herself elected, and I believe this mistake should be considered a disqualifier for voters. I want to be clear that I'm not here because I do not agree with her on many other issues. I've read her literature and I find her to be an otherwise acceptable candidate on paper, and perhaps one who has simply made a very unfortunate error in judgment. Nonetheless, she has already reiterated that she believes her decisions to join forces with this man was a good one. Mr. Wu, on the other hand, I asked you directly via Facebook Messenger just a couple of days ago if you were aware of Mr. Elliott's involvement in anyone's campaigns and if you were aware of his politics. Your clear answer to that question was, quote, no, he is a loner. Considering you have been present on many of the occasions where Mr. Elliott has come up here to regurgitate vitriol, and you are one of the 3 council members to publicly endorse the candidate who has aligned herself with Mr. Elliott, I find it very hard to believe, sir. But your answer does tell me 2 things. Number 1, you are willing to be dishonest to a fellow resident. And number 2, you are fully aware of why I was asking the question, and you were trying to distance yourself from someone you know is politically problematic. And finally, I must ask you, Mr. Wu, Ms. Lopez Viado, and Mayor Castellanos, why is Mr. Elliott's involvement in that campaign not a red line for you? What are you sacrificing in lending your own support to a candidate who has made that kind of mistake? And why are you associating yourselves with a campaign that would have this man as part of it? Or has something happened between the time you were my daughter's age and now that has made this type of association, even by extension, something that allows you to still think you are fully and honestly representing all of the citizens of our great city? Thank you.
Elsie Messman, followed by Wen Zong, followed by R. Robinson.
Good evening, council, staff, and everyone here today and at home. My name is Elsie Messman, a resident of West Covina. I received a flyer stating that the city recruited 3,539 new businesses in West Covina in 2022. I have a question with that number and have turned in a public document request. Number 2, employee recognition dinner at the Sportsplex, and the cost for just a few, or the items are have added up to $43,114. Grants funds were taken from Suburban Water, Athens, and TransTech, to name a few of the companies. But remember, we paid them for their services. No consideration was placed on the expenses, as since we are a number 14 at-risk cities out of 482 in California, should tell you something. We paid the following. Trophies we paid $315 for. Rental, $9,412. Catering, listen to this, $26,589. And for flowers, $2,999. 1 penny short of $3,000. Now, how could they come up so close to the limit unless they were told the limit was $3,000 and they come in with that? I think I would check that invoice. Now, how could you come up so close? I remember Chris Freeland had a recognition day for the employees, and he got In-N-Out Burger and drinks for the staff. He realized that they had a job, pension, and medical, so he used common sense. Now, why is this not put on the agenda so the people that did get a trophy or a reward, that they can come up here like everybody else does that gets an award? Nothing is said, nobody knows who it was, nothing. I said it's being very secretive. I have an article from the paper showing Councilman Wu at his office with the City of Torrance officers discussing the health department. The City of Torrance is number 6 on the risk cities in California. I have not heard of any other city going for this health department except West Covina is the only city that needs their own health department. I hear rumors that if this is approved, it will carry on until we go bankrupt. Number 4, I stated at one meeting that we paid TransTech $4 million for the years from January to September, and the city manager did not explain why, but Councilman Wu did state that we got a percentage back. How much did we get back? $3 million? Who knows? I don't think so, but it doesn't pass the smell test. And I think as far as the unions for the police and fire department, whoever they endorse, I think they should be neutral because they're supposed to protect all the people of West Covina, not just somebody that's running for council. Okay, thank you very much.
Wen Zong, followed by R. Robinson, followed by John Shoemaker.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, Mr. City Manager, staff, and everyone. I'm Wen Zhang, West Covina Library Manager. October is our teen read month, and the library has a special bingo activity for our teenagers to celebrate it. And come and just pick up a bingo game at the library and cross out all the library and book-related activities you complete and to see if you can get bingo. And then you return your completed bingo game to the library to enter our prize drawing. For children ages 4 to 12, we have a a popular in and out, cover to cover reading program going on right now. Simply read 5 books and earn a free burger or cheeseburger at In-N-Out. And you can do 3 times. Read another 5, get another burger free, and then read another 5 books, and you can get another free burgers. And come to register at the library and get started. And the program has already started, and it will run through November the 12th. Well, West Covina Library is currently still closed for renovation with no in-person services, and I apologize for any inconvenience this has caused you. We continue to provide sidewalk service. The sidewalk holds pickup service, or register programs, or give out art activity kids, and we also provide a phone service, information, and reference, and we still have staff answering the reference questions and informational questions. The service hours are Tuesday to Wednesday, 12 to 8 p.m., and Thursday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All other 80-some LA County Library locations are all open with in-person service and programs, and the nearest ones near West Covina include Baldwin Park Library, La Puente Library, Sunkist Library, El Monte Library, Walnut Library, a lot of libraries. Okay. Again, I apologize for the inconvenience. We anticipate the library will reopen sometime next spring.
Are you sure?
So far, yes.
Everything's on time. Okay, so spring next year will.
We are hoping it will be on track. This is the most current information. I mean, the message I got. And next spring will reopen. And what I can tell you that the library will be really, really nice with new technology, new service desk, new ceilings, new lightings, new AC system, new elevator, new wall paint, new carpet, new furniture, a lot of new things, a lot more. And I'm pretty sure the community will appreciate and enjoy using it, and our community deserve a better, upgraded library.
Can't wait.
Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
R. Robinson, followed by John Shoemaker, followed by Frank Williams.
Good evening. Newsom, the idiot that runs the state, has a no candidate statement in this booklet prior to the election. That says volumes. Anyone who votes for that SOB has got to be in some sort of hypnotic trance. His opponent, it begins with a D. I'm not even going to say his name. His opponent, I mean, it's unbelievable. He's running for office. He has nothing to say. Nothing. He's running for governor. Is anybody in this room going to vote for him? Is everybody in a hypnotic trance? He says nothing. And that says volumes. Anyway, turning to changing subjects, Xi Jinping opened the Chinese Communist Party Congress by warning Taiwan. The president supports peaceful reunification, but will never promise to renounce force. Xi celebrated China's crushing of Hong Kong's autonomy and warned Taiwan that the wheels of history are turning towards Beijing, taking control of the island democracy. My guess is the Taiwanese democracy will be dissolved probably by force. Here's Larry Fink. He's also in China's camp. The CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest asset management company, manages assets worth more than $10 trillion. Where Fink puts that money can make or break even the biggest companies. BlackRock is the biggest dictator to the world's central banks. Central to BlackRock's MO is the AI computer investment system called Aladdin. Another detail is how BlackRock and others are buying up vast numbers of residential properties at above market prices to drive up the cost and make it impossible for young people to own homes. You'll own nothing and be happy, say the globalists. Plans to stop private home ownership and make everyone dependent on the vaccine cult-owned corporations is happening at an accelerating pace. Fink controls the American economy along with three other asset managers, Vanguard Group, Fidelity, and State Street Investments. Together with that trio controls $28 trillion. Cross them and you're in big trouble if investments of other people's money are withdrawn, including retirement plans and private pension funds. This helps impose the vaccine cult's martial law agenda on the U.S. society that polls show the majority of Americans don't want. Fink's a key operative in the World Economic Forum, but also sits on the board of the cult's Council on Foreign Relations. These omnipotent power players take no prisoners. These few control the world's fascist system of corporatism. The cult controls both political parties, including the mainstream media, corporate-controlled, brainwashing, media, psychops, artificial intelligence-controlled operations. People don't realize they're being manipulated. There's only one voice repeated in the World Economic Forum's echo chamber. BlackRock closed asset syndicate, I've named some of the companies, are the top three shareholders of the COVID fake vaccine makers, Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, and benefits from the soaring profits of the COVID era. Their ownership stakes are in companies developing vaccine passports and national identity cards. Their stake in this is huge. After the Supreme Court quashed Joe's fake vaccine mandates on private companies, those BlackRock syndicate-controlled companies, including Netflix, Nike, Verizon, Twitter, and the media.
Thank you, Bill.
John Shoemaker, followed by...
have stockholders.
Thank you, Bill. To be continued. That was... All right, come on, Bill, knock it off. Have a seat, Bill. Bill, knock it off. I understand, Bill, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave if you keep it up. Go ahead, Mr. Shoemaker.
Thank you. When you asked about, certain council members, you're probably aware that one council member is the wife who was recruited by the other council member that you were talking about. So for him to say he doesn't know about him is very untrue and doesn't support him. And to continue on with the things, I always love when politicians put something out. Yes, we did go from being high to moderate, but we went from 12th to 14th. Not quite a stirring pickup. I mean, I remember when Councilmember Tony Wu was saying after those bonds that mortgaged all our streets, we should be 120th or 14th. But you know, even when you talk about being 120th, that still puts you in the bottom 25%. We're in the bottom 3%. Bottom 3%. What makes it even worse is if you drill down on the numbers, which I did, when it came to the pension obligations, and I don't have these two exactly right, but related to pension obligations, one of them were the sixth worst, and the other one, we're number one. We're the worst in the state of California. We owe $405 million, and it's going from pension payments of $18 million a year to $28 million over the next few years. Let's keep being delusional and say we think we're doing great. You know, another delusional aspect of it. Improve public safety. Added 10 new police officers. In 2016, we had 100 police officers. Today, we have 100 police officers. You know, I finally figured out what to see. You know, that anything this council says, look at the opposite. Because that's the truth. BLD is open, doing better than ever. Go up there 5 or 6 days a week, it's closed. We're doing wonderful financially. We went from 12 to 14. We're still in the bottom 3%. 97% of the cities in the state of California are better off financially than we are. 97%. And they're bragging about it. We're doing so well. No mention that we have the worst pension obligation in the state of California as a percentage of our budget. A $100 million budget, no, $405 million. And oh, by the way, that's before the pay increases. Of course, they're going to say the pay increases, well, they're paying more. They're paying more. Yes, they are. But everybody's who's on payroll today, their pension increased 15%. They're not paying, and even if you take what they paid, it still means we have to figure out where to get an additional 10%. Those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. You know, I have to laugh when I look at some of these things. What point do you guys adding new businesses? I go down the street and I see the lighting place, the lighting place is closed. We have dealerships that are closed. You go to the mall and they're closed. So anytime they tell you they did something good, look at the opposite, because that's the truth. That's the truth. You talk about we have a $25 million general fund surplus. Nobody has been able to explain why page 8 of the annual consolidated financial report that shows all revenues and all expenses over the last few years is $56 million in the hole. You know, I made the remark that it's kind of like putting $1,000 in your checking account and saying I'm solvent, but completely ignoring the $100,000 you have in credit card fees coming up. No, you're not solvent. And that doesn't even take into account the $60 to $90 million for a health department.
Frank Williams.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council. First, I know me as Frank Williams, volunteer with Youth Sports Council, and also for the West Covina Bruins, and proud constituent for more than 30 plus years. First, I have to apologize. Life happens. I suffered a loss. My father's brother passed away right before the last council meeting, and I was supposed to come here and invite you to our opening day ceremony for the West Covina Bruins, which we found out at the last minute because they finally got our schedules done. So we're running around trying to do stuff. So, of course, like anything else. I was able to get our city manager, so thank you, David, and our Councilman Wu to come and show up. It's like everything else. You know, we always want to share the challenges and show the blessings for the cooperation because you guys are all friends, supporters of the West Covina Bruins because of the decisions you make for not just the Bruins, but all youth sports. So I wanted to, just kind of give you just a recap that, since 2020, the youth sports leagues of West Covina have been completely decimated financially. And this is the second year that the West Covina Bruins and many of the youth sports have actually been able to do something, with everybody together and really create that family atmosphere. You have children and cheerleaders and everybody coming together. And we have people that are trying to support our league financially. We have sponsors, which of course we share. We say they're friends of the Bruins. We say they're friends of youth sports because they all need to raise money. We're right now, this league, the Bruins has a $13,000 additional bill that we had to pay for services to rent the field up at the Sportsplex. I don't know if you guys are aware of those numbers. So we're trying to raise $13,000 right now with sponsors. So if there's any sponsors out there that want more than 325 families to support them, the West Covina Bruins are looking for you. Okay. We have different candidates. We have people come to us every so many years and they want to show their face and bring us supporters and whatnot. It's like anything else. We welcome everybody that wants to be a supporter because we are all just volunteers and we're trying to make our community better. We go above and beyond what the city of West Covina's personnel could do because it's all just blood, sweat, and tears. It's all just man hours that the city would no way be able to financially support. So when I sit back and think about back in 2013, we were chosen the most playful city. And I remember because I was volunteering back then still. And it was because we had all that activity going on with our volunteers in our parks. And the parks and the youth sports, it creates a little bit of a light, right? Because everything that is so heavy, especially the type of stuff that you hear every day and everything that I've heard so far today, we deserve to have a place for our children to play and for us volunteers to help support them. And we appreciate the support of City Council. I know that there's a lot of other challenges going on politically. I am a registered voter and I'm one of the regular people that vote. And I know we have many families that are going to vote because they feel that we need help also. And I think it's really important that we, have you come to our parks on the weekends and see you guys, not just on opening day. But I just want to welcome you guys all the time because you guys are always supporters, not just on opening day, for many, many years. And it's like everything else. We know the amount of work it takes for you to sit up there and listen to what you listen to, but for you to see all the work that goes on in all the parks, the basketball, the pony baseball, the little leagues, everything that goes on in soccer, everything goes at the benefit of the children, which are the future of West Covina. So I want you guys to just think about that. And if you know companies that want to continue to support youth sports that are doing a wonderful job in this wonderful city, have them come to our Youth Sports Council meeting, which is actually next week. And we'd love to hear you guys there or somebody that you might want to be there. I would really appreciate that. So with that, I'll just say thank you very much on behalf of the children of West Covina. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further speaker cards, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. That'll conclude our public oral communications. And City Manager, would you please respond to public comment concerns?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, and members of the public. I'll try to briefly respond to some of the comments that were made. Mr. Herman, again, came and used his time, as is his right. I would note two things. We had some children in the room tonight, made me feel awkward. I apologize. In these chambers, we affirm the dignity and worth of all who come. Mr. Greenspan, sorry about your Florida Gators this weekend. They lost to LSU by 10 points. There's always next week. We love college football. I think Rosa Rios had to leave, but I would note publicly that on tonight's agenda, there's a resolution for council consideration which would establish a reward fund of up to $50,000 for information regarding that terrible crime. Ernesto Garcia, thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate that and your involvement civically, and I'm happy to hear that your family's being involved at a young age in local government at the school and beyond. I know this is election season, and those comments really aren't mine to comment on. Other people made them as well, but thank you for being here. Elsie Mesman had some questions about the staff recognition dinner, State of the City. I would note that the costs of that event were sponsored by people who wanted to support that effort. I think the net cost to the city was about $2,000. And just want to say again, if the city can assist you, Ms. Messman, with any of your requests for documents or information about any of those expenditures, we'd be happy to assist you with that. It's all public information. Wenwen Zhang from the library, we always appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. And we really appreciate your efforts to help this community raise readers, and for all your positive spark that you bring. We're really appreciative of that. I've been in communication with library headquarters staff and would affirm her comments about the progress on those capital projects. It's going to be nice when it's done, and we hope it's soon. Next spring, we'll take it. Mr. Robinson, I'm not sure I've got anything to say to his comments excepting regarding COVID. I would encourage everyone, again, to get their medical advice from their doctor. Some of those other comments were not understood by me, but just get medical advice from those who understand the COVID. And I know we all know people in our own families and other families have been hit with that terrible disease, and I would encourage people to just get good medical advice. Mr. Shoemaker mentioned finances. I'm very happy to announce that the city is doing better than before. We got some good news this week from the Office of the State Auditor. The city of West Covina has, through diligent efforts, improved its fiscal health and has fallen off the list in terms of its ranking as a high-risk city. We moved one category over into moderate. This is just one indicator that the city continues to improve its overall financial condition. We value fiscal responsibility, which was most recently made very evident through the adoption of a practical and balanced budget. And all of those documents, including the state auditor's findings, are available publicly. I would encourage people to look for it. Mr. Williams, thanks for inviting us even at the last minute. Privileged to represent the city there, as was Councilmember Wu. A lot of life in that field. Yeah, I got you. And good things are happening there physically. I know that the volunteers did a nice job on the field improvements. The city stepped in and contributed to that. We've got a capital project scheduled in our capital improvements program, some $930,000 for new lights at that facility. So we're going to keep working toward those common goals. Thank you for being here. I think that's all I've got this evening.
Thank you. And a question from Councilman Wu.
I think you forgot to maybe answer our resident LZ regarding the Transtech making $3-4 million. So maybe you can provide how much city make, because we have a 50% with 250 under, and anything above would be 60% to city, and anything above 350 week city got 65%. So I think it's a public record. I think we should provide to her about the city in the positive, how much we make. So in that way, she can have a more detail.
Through the chair, I'd be happy to provide that documentation. I didn't bring those numbers with me tonight. in a nutshell, the city privatized that service. We now contract with a private firm. Our current vendor is Transtech. They're doing a great job for us. Whereas before, the city has its own in-house employees with city salaries and city benefits, including dental plans and pension and all of it. We now have a private firm that does it on a % of the fee basis. But if Ms. Messman is interested, I'd be happy to share those contracts and any of that information. I'll get it for her. I know she knows how to make those public records requests, but I'll research it and see to it we provide it.
Thank you. And now for our city manager's report.
Thank you. I will be brief tonight. As was mentioned, the city continues to improve its fiscal health. The overall ranking by the state auditor, based on data from 2020-21, we've moved off the red high list. They've got 3 categories: high, moderate, and we've moved into the moderate from the high. And we're going to continue to work to do better with those rankings and with the city's fiscal performance. I wanted to mention one capital improvement projects. We love to pave streets, and on our annual CIP paving program, we had a remainder change order authority of some $400,000, which we used this week on the last of some streets which were falling below the numerical ranking. We want to get all the streets on average to a score of a 70. And these streets that are depicted in this picture on your screen, a couple of them were in the 50s. I think one was a 52. And the neighbors were quite happy. We got the cold planing done on both edges. We crack sealed. We put down a tack course so the asphalt would adhere. The weather cooperated. We put down 1.5 inches of asphalt, and it is going to give good service and good rideability and improve that neighborhood for years to come. So we were happy to deliver that last of the CIP projects under the paving category this year. Continue to want to announce the availability of housing preservation loans. There are some income limits, and we can help people work through those with applications. If they'll call us at City Hall, we'll happy to try to assist anyone that might have a need to make eligible improvements to their homes. Loans of up to $25,000. We've continued to have some community events coming up. This one is the Festival of Frights, Saturday, October 29th from 4 to 9 p.m. in historic downtown West Covina, South Glendora Avenue. There'll be a costume contest and some other things. People are encouraged to join that. The last 2 slides pertain to the election. I think most of the people that come to these meetings are well aware that we're having a municipal election this fall. And there'll be voting centers all around town, and the public is welcome to use those or to mail in their ballots or to use the mail drop boxes. And lastly, this is just a schedule of the election, which is fast approaching. If people have not yet registered to vote and wish to do so, they may apply between now. I think the last day is November the 1st, but we can provide information if anyone needs it about how to go about that. Our next Planning Commission meeting lands on November the 8th, which will be canceled so everybody will be able to vote. Sorry. What did I say? Oh, okay. Sorry. I've been corrected. But we're going to cancel the Planning Commission meeting on Election Day so people can use that time to vote. I think that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And Councilman Tony Wu.
Okay, and I think that street paving that is great, but I think a lot of residents still asking about when their street will be paved. So meaning, I think it's go back down to the how soon we can get a survey to check each of the street, so people can, like we talked last time to Paulina, that we should have a street and tree and that post on our website, so people can type in their address, and can see their street, when they will be paved. I think this is very important because everybody's us. When we say we're paving the street, they say, so when my street will be paved? So I think it's important for them. And then, so I think the point will be how soon we can have a detailed survey in each of the street, including like Google the pictures, the condition, so we know our database, and then we have, for example, when they haven't been paid and when they will be scheduled, maybe in what is the condition. Then you have, okay, for example, 100, and then below 60, that is substandard. So which street is substandard? We should have a record of that. So how soon we should have that data and who is going to do the survey? Because I think previously the company, I don't think doing a good job because we have a lot of street is under 60. So, city manager?
Through the chair, the city follows a pavement management program. We use an outside consulting engineering firm to do that for us. It was last done about 3 years ago, so it's time to revisit that. I've asked city engineering to get proposals from new firms. Once those are in, I have made them aware of the council's desire to have even more transparency in the process. You mentioned an address search, but it will again be the same basic approach in terms of a numeric score based on survey of all of the streets and the projects prioritized based upon those needs. The proposals are now being solicited. Once we have those, it'll come on your agenda for you to consider a contract for that revised pavement management program.
Last time the meeting, Jenna was here. Okay, you were out sick on COVID, so maybe, I don't know, you reviewed the video. The question, Jenna said we need to have a detail RFP. So meaning we detail regarding what we want. Okay, if we don't have a detail, then maybe go back to the same routine. Some street will be overseas. So we want to make sure all the street and in detail, okay, and the RFP need to be in detail, see what kind of survey, maybe including the picture, et cetera, et cetera. So in that way, we don't get into the same situation again. Make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? All right. Thank you, David, for that. Now moving on to the consent calendar. We've got, looks like 6 items on consent today. Would anybody like to pull anything from consent? Councilman Tabatabai.
Yes, item number 3.
All right, number 3, requesting to be pulled. Anything else? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve 1 through 6 except for 3?
I'll make the motion.
All right, I'll second that. Roll call, please.
Before roll call, I have 2 ordinance titles I need to read into the record regarding item number 4. First ordinance is ordinance number 2504, an ordinance of the successor agency to the former West Covina Redevelopment Agency, repealing ordinance number 1 regarding sales and use taxes. Second ordinance is ordinance number 2505, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of West Covina, California, repealing Section 21-32, credit for taxes due to redevelopment agency of the City of West Covina of Article 2, Sales and Use Tax of Chapter 21, Taxation of the West Covina Municipal Code. I have a motion by Councilmember Tabatabai and a second by Mayor Castellanos for consent items 1 through 6 with the exception of item number 3. Councilmember Tabatabai?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
You forgot me.
Yes. Councilman Wu, excuse me.
I'm still around.
Absolutely.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye. Items passed 5-0. Now on to number 3. Councilman Tabatabai.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager, understand that the governor has put a sunset date, February 28th, 2023, for the state's emergency, COVID emergency. So I guess my question to you is that our timetable to also end our need for a local emergency?
Through the chair, the answer is yes. We intend to watch the sunset with the governor. We have followed the state protocol, as have most of the California cities. It's the longest lasting disaster that I've ever experienced. I think the state has ever followed. It has enabled us to avail ourselves of any federal and state resources that might come our way. But it's been my intention for some time that I would recommend that thing conclude when the state winds it down. We had included in our weekly report from our Sacramento lobbyist that same information today that you saw in the news yesterday from the governor, and we'll stop it at that time. You'll no longer see it on your agenda after that date.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
I'll second. Roll call, please.
I have a motion by Councilman Wu and a second by Mayor Castellanos. Councilmember Tabatabai?
Aye.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye.
Item passes 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to departmental regular matters. Item number 7, consideration of dial-a-ride service area. Mr. City Manager, who will present the report?
This report be given by Kelly McDonald.
Thank you.
It's on. Good evening. Sorry for the delay. This item is in regard to consideration of the dial-a-ride service area. This item was discussed at the September meeting and discussed at the October 4 meeting. The dial-a-ride is a shared ride transportation service for eligible West Covina residents. It's seniors, and by seniors is meant age 55 and older, and also persons with disabilities. The service runs Monday through Friday from 8 to 5:30 and Sunday 8 to 2:30. Fare is 50 cents each way. Now, currently, the city has a 3-mile boundary criteria. Participants can travel anywhere within the city, and for medical purposes, they can go 3 miles beyond. That's the current criteria. That was considered, and 5-mile boundary was discussed at the last meeting for medical purposes. For comparison, we didn't have the 5-mile. This is what that shape looks like. And then also at the last meeting, council asked for information from MV regarding the type and number of trips that are provided through dial-a-ride. MV provided the following for the month of September. Of the 635 dial-a-ride rides, 185 were for medical, 173 for personal recreational, 119 for shopping, 100 for medical out of the city, 51 for employment, and 7 for nutritional. And lastly, we included a survey of local cities for comparison. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you. And folks from MV are here if there are any questions.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor. During our last meeting, I received several concerns about the idea that our dial-a-ride didn't go outside the city limits. And I understand that I don't think that we should be limiting our seniors just for medical outside the city limits. One of the concerns was that they want to use this facility or this service so that they can take the train from Baldwin Park. And so I was thinking about the train from Baldwin Park, the Covina train station, and other facilities that they might want to go to. Aldi's, we don't have one here in West Covina. Northgate Market, they don't have one. We don't have one here. AMC Theater, they don't have that. We have an Edwards. So this really weighed heavy on my heart, and I just thought, Why are we doing this to our seniors and our disabled people? And I just think that we should reconsider this and allow people to utilize this service so that they can do the shopping or do any recreational things that they want to do outside of our city. Not only that, but this time frame. The service is from 8 a.m. until 5:30, Monday through Friday, and Sundays 8 to 2:30. And I started thinking about our city events. What about our summer concerts? Why can't we have our seniors have that ability to attend those? Why can't we expand that time frame till at least 9:30 so that they're able to come? So that's the second part of this request that I have. I just think that if we are able to do these things, I think that our seniors will have more mobility to be able to go wherever they want, or at least for 3 miles. Maybe we can even expand that. I don't know. I guess we can discuss that. But that's what I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilwoman Lopez-Viado.
Yes, actually, Mayor Pro Tem hit a few of my things. The email we did receive was a resident from my district. She actually emailed the whole council, and she brought new information that we didn't think about at the last council meeting. One of her concerns is she travels out, if she goes to LA or outside the 3 to 5 mile boundary, she has a hard time getting transportation. She does utilize the Metrolink station. So she asked if we can use that dial-a-ride to go to the Metrolink station at the Baldwin Park and Covina Metrolink station, and she had valid points. Another senior did mention, because we talk about disability and those on wheelchair, the dial-a-ride has that. It's ADA accessible, which the Uber program does not have. And the dial-a-ride has services where they assist them, which some of the Ubers, I mean, if they probably will not touch them, they won't help them. So those who are seniors who have a disability are unable to fully function or just on the wheelchair are not able to use the Uber program. So that eliminates that with the public service, the dial-a-ride. But in reference, with those new information that was brought up to me, and one even mentioned, medical. I know I discussed about holistics. A lot of people are now doing in-home services that, in the city's eyes, is that considered holistic because it's at a private home. It's not labeled. It looks like a traditional home. So, in reference to that, to have that radius, with that new information, I'd like to open that up to make it open 3 mile radius to information. And I know I saw the information about personnel and recreation that was ranked number 2. And I'm sure you don't have the details of what is considered personal or information, or do you have those details? Because it's personal.
That's
and
correct.
So if they go to family or any of that services that they want to, those personal things, and therefore, because of those reasons and new information that was given, that the seniors who actually utilizes these program, I'd like to now open it up back to the 3 mile radius for all and remove just the medical, because as we can see, the personal recreational is second. And in reference to medical, I know, I don't know about everybody's health plan, but those with insurance, when they give you referrals, a lot of them, it's not inside the city. I could speak for that. I'd have to go travel to San Dimas. If you have like those HMO or any of that stuff, you have to travel away. And our seniors who need these medical attention needs to be able to, even if they go outside the boundary to go to a family member who can take them, or for whatever reasons, I'd like to open that up to make that not be restricted to just medical. And because especially the one who just mentioned, the Metrolink station. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Wu.
Regarding the 55 years old, Is that right? How many people? I would think about seniors 65 and older. And but over here, that right is 55 because, the concern I have when I see this is a 55. We want the people in need to use the service, and if people can drive, and then let 55, pretty young. I'm much older than the 55, so meaning what?
I qualify if I lived in the city.
Yeah, you qualify. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this: should we? How many people is 65 under using this service? But if there's handicap, we have to let them use it. I'm talking about some people. Okay, but again, we just have a limited resource. We just don't want to people. They're young, but they kind of utilize the service. So we want to give to a person really need the help. 65 older, 70, 75, they cannot drive.
Right.
Okay, so we can maybe. You want to answer something? You want to say something?
I don't have that information for you this evening, and I'm sure the folks from MV don't. We could come back without the ages of the people who are current participants.
You have a number.
Give you a breakdown.
You don't have a number.
No,
you don't have a number. Who is?
We can.
With all the number you have, 170, 160, with the medical, who is the person using all this service? Do you have a record and the age? How about the Go MWest, right?
Sure.
Do you have any information? You want to come out to share with us?
Do you have the stats?
Why is the better service to the seniors? And the youth, we don't abuse the service, and we want to make sure people in need can utilize, and that is so-called the senior.
I would have to get that information.
You go to the microphone, please.
I would have to gather that information, but our ops manager was actually the dispatcher for that service since we got the contract, and the majority of your ridership is over 60 years old.
Good. So it's
a big majority.
Yeah.
Anyone younger is usually disabled. But the majority of our ridership is 60.
So do we need to put the age criteria like 65 and older for that, right? Do we need to do it, or keep it right now it's 55?
I don't think we would need to do it just because of the trend that we currently have. Our
Got it.
Like I said, yeah.
Got it.
Full numbers.
Would you please put a number? Yeah. Okay, and we still want to this is a necessity, a service we need to have. And how about the time, go to the 9:30, sometimes for the senior can travel into our some event, and so they can, otherwise they have no right.
That would be something we could do.
We can work on it, okay?
Yeah, we could work on that. I mean, that would be whatever instruction you guys give us, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Yeah, because I know one of the seniors mentioned, well, I can't even attend the council meeting because it's after hours and they don't function. So that was one of the concerns also. But I know the dial-a-ride is a popular service, which brings my concern. I know the mayor has mentioned about the empty buses. So another thing that I'd like to consider, I mean, if this is such a popular program that they expand the dial-a-ride and move some of the funding from the buses to this program, because I know this is a need, and I am I appreciate that they really help and cater those who are disabled, and they assist them. And so that, if this is a popular program, that to have it expanded, funding should be transitioned here and make that work.
Yes, away from the empty ghost bus. Need the word ghost in there. Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to disagree with you, Councilman Wu. I have several neighbors that don't drive, which shocks me because they're about my age. And I just say leave it at 55. I mean.
Sure.
It's fine. Okay, 55. I didn't argue. I was just thinking of 55 is very young. Okay, so, but anyway, and by people really need it, then they don't drive. Why not to let them people to use it? But my point will be, can we dial ride? Can they share ride rather than just one ride? Is that possible?
Sharing?
Yeah, sharing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a big bus.
Right.
Okay,
we use something called Trapeze is the system that we use, and once we receive the reservation, the system automatically tells us if there's rides that we can share. So if you call in and tell me I need a 9 o'clock, our system will tell me we can give him a 9:05 and he can share ride with Mayor Dario, and then you guys.
And he can see the
and the
packed
efficiency
bus.
increases.
Okay. So it's a cost effective. Okay, you do not want to have one big bus only pick up one person, go 5 miles. Okay, to medical or 3 miles to this and that, or unlimited inside the city. So hopefully, there's a lot of people can utilize and share the ride. Okay, so in that way, it's more efficient to have people to utilize the ride. Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Is the rule still stands in regards to 7-day reservation? Because I have a problem with that, and I've mentioned it when I had to book reservations for my grandma. A lot of those that are in need, sometimes their health comes down, they call the doctor, they could be seen the next day or 2 days. I would actually like that amended so that...
It's currently 7 days out, but we do have ridership that will say, well, if you guys get something freed up, I have something later on today. And if we have an available driver that got a cancellation or a no-show, we'll send them right out. So we do same-day pickups, but the reservations can only be done 7 days out. So you can't call a month in advance and say, next month I'm going to go, for a market run or something. But we do same day, we do day before, up to 7 days.
Oh, up to 7. Okay, up to 7 days. I thought they had 7 days.
But we say 7 days out because they book up.
Yeah.
So if you have urgent appointments, medical, dialysis, anything like that, we say call it the 7 days so that you can secure your ride. Mm-hmm.
Do they get priorities, like you mentioned, dialysis or any...
We have something called anchored trips. So if someone calls and says, I have dialysis Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, we try to schedule them in based on availability. But there is no priority. If they just first call first.
Okay.
First come, first serve,
Mm. Your mic is off.
Okay, let's see. Any other questions, comments? Councilman Tabatzbay.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I think I just wanted to reiterate from the last meeting. I understand that people would like to, again, go outside the city limits and possibly do shopping and things like that. But again, this is, we want to incentivize people to go to the Edward Cinema, to go to Sprouts, to go to the West Covina shopping centers. And, this is taxpayer money that we're using. So again, I think that I support the plan to extend to 5 miles. I received that email about going to the train stations. But again, I think what we're trying to do is we're really trying to provide a service to get people around inside the city to really engage in the businesses in the city. So, again, I support what is presented tonight in terms of the 5 miles, but I disagree with this idea of opening it up so people can shop outside of the city. Thank you.
And thank you for your comment. Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I agree with what you're saying as far as taxpayers' dollars, but like Mayor Castellano says, I'd rather see a full bus than an empty bus. And it's the money, it's the same money that's going to be used for those buses, those empty buses. Why not use it for people that actually are going to dial a ride? They're going to dial to get a ride, and they're prepared to take it. It's not going to be an empty bus. So I think that it's a good idea to expand it.
Councilman Tabato.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with expanding the amount of dial-a-rides we offer. I just would like to expand it so they're shopping inside West Covina. Again, there's nothing to say that someone can't call a dial-a-ride and not use the bus and go to the local shops and go to our local movie theater and go to, the local businesses. They can go anywhere in the city, and we provide all of those services. And if we don't provide a service that they want, then that could also be something that the city then goes and tries to attract that service. But to incentivize people to leave the city is not what we as a council have been promoting, nor what we say our values are in terms of how we want to use our funds. So again, when you're using the taxpayer funds, there are some sacrifices that you make, and one of them maybe if your preferred store is outside of the city, then I think you should possibly take the opportunity to enjoy the stores within the city.
Say something.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
And I agree with you, Councilman Tabatabai, about the shopping. But we also have to understand most of our seniors don't have money and they're not really going out shopping. That is the reason why I requested the stats to see what the usage of these dial-a-ride, and even within our own city, shopping wasn't a number one priority. Obviously here it shows medical as the number one, and then number two was personal recreational. So when I requested this, I'm looking at the personal, because I mentioned holistic and all that, and recreational. And so with that senior who mentioned about going to the Metrolink station, she, for whatever reason, if it is a recreational, it's personal, to go outside her boundaries. And that is where I stand. It's not shopping, but primarily shopping. And I doubt if the numbers show differently when this comes back within 6 months to a year, then we can modify that again. But I'd like to make sure that the medical is being covered, their personal and recreational needs, because recreation gives that, opens up the, it helps the residents, it helps the seniors, and I don't want them to be limited to, because of no transportation. And with, like I said, those who are wheelchair bounded, they need to have that release. They need to be able to be out there. And with this dial-a-ride, they have that ADA accessibility that the Uber does not have. We do have Uber. This only covers dial-a-ride. I know they wrote something that, we removed Uber. Uber's still there to utilize for anything else. But for the dial-a-ride purposes of them, for their mental, for their sanity, is the reason why I'd like that expansion, because even medical gets that confused with what is considered medical. And so that is my reason for expanding. It's not even shopping. That's not even a key element for my portion on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Tabatabai.
Thank you. And again, I think, when I'm thinking about the Metro, the Baldwin Park, and the Covina, I think I could support that, because I am a supporter of creating a better mass transit system that I think the mayor also would like to create. If that's the motion, that we also include the Covina, Baldwin Park, those Metrolink stations, I definitely could support that.
Yeah, because if you see the dial-a-ride application, if you see the second page, it lists those transportation, and the Metrolink is there. So ironically, when I saw that, I'm like, how can we have this on the application and not be able to have our seniors go there or transport them? So when I saw that, she did make a valid point, and so I took that into consideration, and I do want them to be able to utilize that, especially if it's on our application for their dial-a-ride. So yes.
Cool. So do we need a motion, new direction, or what do we need to do? Motion, Councilwoman Lopez Viado, or would anyone like to?
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I need a motion.
Okay.
With
direction.
With specifics.
Well, expanding the time frame from 5:30 till, that's something we didn't discuss. So if these seniors or disabled residents want to go to our summer concerts, those are over at 9:00? What if we have a spring festival? I don't know what time, we'll end those, but we need to expand it so that they're able to be taken home.
And this one reference to, which Councilman Tabatabai mentioned about shopping inside West Covina. So like, for example, we have the Halloween event. That's in Glendora. That's all the shopping. I'd love for our seniors to go there. So with that expansion, if the evenings cater to the evenings, if we want to amend, but the evenings cater to our city programming, events, then definitely it's a yes, because that keeps the shopping and everything else catered to West Covina.
So, what time frame? 9:30? 10 o'clock?
Would that be based on our events or?
Yeah.
How do you think the timeline is workable and then not impose way too much of the cost?
Well, I don't think we would need our full routes until the whatever time we think. I mean, I don't know what our seniors would maybe for special events, it could be later, 9, 10. I think it would depend on that.
Yeah,
but it could just be just one bus or two buses out there, or even just one route, at a certain time. So it's something we would have to look into. But I don't think it would be later than 9 or 10.
I think 9 should be.
Seniors go to sleep early.
Yeah,
Okay, wait a minute.
That's their bedtime.
Wait. I'm more than 55, and I'm going to be at the summer concert later than 9 o'clock.
Normally.
Or what if I want to go to Glendora?
Summer concerts end at 9 o'clock.
Okay, I want to go to Glendora Avenue.
Glendora Avenue, most of the restaurant close at 8 o'clock.
The Cove?
By then there's Uber. You can utilize Uber after hours.
Cove close at 2 o'clock. Okay, but let's just.
I don't think much.
I don't think senior want to go there. Okay, and that for the maybe 50 or 40 years old. Okay, so it past their bedtime. Okay, and like for example, like me, after 10 o'clock, I'm tired.
Oh my God.
So you would be able to adapt to our needs and calls. So if there's days where we don't need to go that late, you could adapt to that. And special events.
I think if you guys wanted special trips for special events where it's later, we can do that. But I think we would need a set time for during the week.
For other days. So what should we do for non-special event days? 8 p.m., 9 p.m.?
We have the council meeting on Tuesdays, which seniors are unable to come. So
our meeting go late.
We do, but at least
we would have to leave.
We argue forever.
I mean, most of the seniors, if they do come, just like half the people that are here, they come for public comment, or they just go over, whatever. If they want to see their grandchild get a presentation or whatever it may be, it's usually like presentation, public comment, and stuff. But
I think we could pick a time today and then
10 o'clock.
Maybe 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
I don't know if it's workable for their costs and
special events or 10 o'clock.
Well, this is city councils. First and third Tuesday. Most of the special events in the city is statistically Wednesday to Saturday. Sunday, Monday usually doesn't have, or Tuesday, but.
Okay, how about your suggestion? What is, as your operator, what is reasonable every day? We just set out the every day, what time first, and then we talk about special event. Special event only happen once in a while, right. But regular time is the normal time. So what is the time you think? Right now is the go to 5 o'clock is way too early. Yeah. Can we extend it to like maybe 8 o'clock?
I would think 8 o'clock is a good every day. And we can also do calendar events. What we do with other contracts is they send me out a monthly calendar event and they tell me, these days we're doing these types of events for our seniors, for students, whatever it is. And we schedule around that. So,
But every day, I think 5 o'clock is too early. I think we restrict them. I think 8 p.m. Yes, you have something to say.
Oh, they might not hear you. We'd like our residents to hear you. Sorry. People who are watching, just like this resident, our senior who emailed us, she watched the council meeting.
My name is Miriam. Okay, I dispatched for many years for West Covina, and the majority of people that use the service, they do go to the grocery store, they go to the doctor, maybe visit a family member, but the majority of them don't stay out late. They don't like to be out once it's dark. So when they do have a special event, they'll say, well, do you guys do this? And you guys could take us there. Then that's, yeah. But they really don't stay out that late. It's rare that you find.
But is that possible because you only restrict to 5 o'clock? So they go with your time.
The majority of the time, they always say, like, when we used to tell them 5 o'clock, they're like, oh, that's already late. To them, that's already late. But I mean, I think for special events, like to have a shuttle bus, it'll be okay. But I doubt it if at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night they're out there.
But when you say dial right, meaning if some people call you and they book the time, so meaning if you offer can go up to the 8 o'clock, so meaning sometimes 8 o'clock is still right. Okay, and
you are correct. They do go by if it's daylight or if it's dark outside. Then they
winter time 5 o'clock is already dark because time changed. Okay, but other than that, sometimes 8 o'clock is still bright and maybe cooler. People want to come out, but again, I just don't know the time. I don't know the cost reason. Will it be an issue if we extend to the 8 o'clock? It's just let people have a freedom. Up to the 8 o'clock.
When you don't have calls, you guys go home, right? You guys don't.
Correct.
If they have a call, yeah, exactly.
So for
it's not a
ride. We route the day before. So if we don't have a ridership to take us through 8 o'clock, the driver clocks out at 7.
Exactly.
The driver clocks out at 7:30. So it wouldn't be like you still have a driver out there and you're paying for that revenue. You would only pay when we have someone on board.
Good. So anyway, 8 o'clock, you just say we can let people up to the 8 o'clock. They can still get a ride home. Okay, so in that way, because 8 o'clock is the last ride, you better to be home 8 o'clock. Otherwise, you on your own.
Correct.
Okay, so I think we go 8 o'clock. Okay, and if they don't have people ride, they go home. You don't have to be there. Maybe go home 5 o'clock if the whole day doesn't have a ride.
And it gives them time
At least
for
give them
family
some,
dinner.
exactly, have some dinner time. 8
Students who are
o'clock
out.
should be.
Marian has brought up a good point. She's asking regarding Sundays. Sometimes we just have 8 to 2. Is the latest
2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, so that's the latest they run. If that's something you guys would want to consider changing.
Sunday?
And it's been that way for many years, so I think if you changed it, it would be slow to start, but maybe once they got...
At least people, people...
Maybe make that one 5:30.
For a Sunday? Yeah. So Monday to Saturday till 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock, and then
Sunday till 6 o'clock?
6.
They go to church. They go to...
That's a good pilot.
Let's give a try.
Right, it would be, but because I don't think it's going to take off right away because they're not going to be used to it.
You're not used to it.
It's going to take us a minute to get the word out. But I think once they do, Sunday especially, I think that may be something
They maybe want to use it. Sunday is a good day for people to go out.
Yeah.
We don't want them to cocoon in their home. We just want them to be healthy, happy, traveling around, okay, and use the dial ride that we provide. So I think, okay, so what time you started? 8 o'clock? Or so 8 to 8, Monday to Saturday, and 8 to 6, Sunday.
We don't run Saturday service for Delaware.
Saturday, no?
Oh, really? That's the most
They never have.
popular. I mean, there's lots going on Saturdays.
Would you like to initiate that?
Can we do Saturday?
Can we add that?
Oh, it's not okay.
So let's initiate what we were just discussing.
Yeah, let's give a try Monday to. So look, very restricted. Okay,
Yeah, because there's some that's open medical that opens on Saturday, like the dentist.
Yeah, they're open. They open Saturday.
Eye exams. Those are on Saturday.
Open up all the can of the worm about the.
I wasn't aware of Saturday not being operational, and Saturday is the busiest day.
Very busy day.
For lots of activities happening throughout the whole city. They should enjoy and be out and about.
How much cost will increase? We extend all this time.
Like I said, I don't think it'll take off right away if we promote it. I think Saturdays will be just like Sundays, probably. I mean,
Okay.
We don't do very much currently, but it's on such a limited time, so maybe it would be.
Yeah, so because we want to see how we utilize the budget, okay, because we have to see the route. We still work on that. And the Uber, okay, all combined together as a transportation action plan, and then we want to work with you. So which route will be much more popular? So people just again, we don't want an empty bus running around. We can use this money into the dial ride, make it more effective. People can utilize. So let's do it. Let's try it Monday to Saturday 8 to 8, and Sunday 8 to 6. Just give a pilot try and see how we get the data. See how it look, and then maybe we go out the boundary 5 miles to medical, and like you say, 3 miles without limitation. So people, because if we add transportation, train or metro link, then later on something happen where you have to come back to add. Right now we just give it a try. See how it goes for 3 mile like you say, on limit, and 5 miles medical. Okay, and 8 to 8, Sunday 8 to 6. With this service, we promote the senior, and we don't change the 55. We see how you work, and we use the join, and join ride rather than only one rider. We want more people to utilize your bus. Make sense?
Councilwoman, yes, that sounds like a motion. Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
I had a quick question. So if we open up to the evenings, they're not, I mean, I know you mentioned that they'll clock out, but if there is no reservations in the evening, then you don't book a bus driver, right? Okay, so I just wanted to make sure then that's clear. So we're not wasting, so once they book.
Because it's reserved, pre-book. Yeah. So they must have a lot of people and utilize.
Limit your same day service, just so you understand. So if that's why we don't allow them to book. That's why they don't book same day, because once your driver has your route, if he's going to go home at 5:30, we don't just keep him around because
makes sense.
That's more of an Uber model.
Right.
Yeah.
Sitting around and not.
Because this is not a fixed route.
No, we understand. I mean, and that's why we have, like you, the mayor mentioned, we have the Uber, and that supplements the other programs.
If the people can up to 7 day pre-book, so they can same day booking and up to 7 days, so you can put the time so people can share ride.
No, I just wanted to get that clarification.
Yeah, go to the thing so it can really utilize the ride, and hopefully you can have more people and utilize your bus, and go to any places they want.
Question. When you, I know it was ranked second, personal and recreational. What's classified as personal?
Well, they don't really say.
But usually that personal is like someone's home, or is that like?
It's usually someone's home, or they'll say they're going to go get their hair done, get their nails done.
Oh, okay.
Manicure. Pedicure.
For what? Okay, so under the umbrella of just anything else. Okay, got it.
So
have a motion, basically.
Yeah, basically, what you want to start the motion?
I started the motion, and the motion was to expand the services outside of the city limits for 3 miles. And I checked the Baldwin Park train station and the Covina and Northwest or Northgate Market to make sure that it was less than 3 miles. And also to extend the services time Monday through Friday from 8 to 8.
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday. 8 to 8, and then Sundays 8 to 6. Right.
I believe the motion was Monday through Saturday 8 to 8. Yes. Fridays 8 to, and then Sundays is 8 to 6.
Right.
Keeping a 5 mile for medical purposes and 3 miles unrestricted.
Right.
Second?
I believe you made the motion.
I made the motion.
And Tony, second. Roll call, please.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Diaz.
Sorry, I'd like to make sure. The Dial Ride, is that linked with all our senior services, or so that information is inside the Dial Ride of everything that is occurring within our city, whether it's shopping, special events, or any of that sort?
I mean, can we post it inside?
Yeah, can we post it inside? So just to make sure they focus on all our city events, city components, city
like
special deals, and
monthly calendar. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that that's there, because, I mean, again, I like to focus on West Covina. That's my main purpose of that.
We could even include coupons or anything to
exactly. From our city businesses, city of everything. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, now, roll call. Or anything to add from city staff?
Go ahead.
Through the chair, if I may, yes, we can coordinate with the service provider and in order to provide them with the information that you are directing, so we can make it available to our seniors. They're nodding their heads, yes.
Done.
Thank you. Go
ahead. All right, roll call, please.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Diaz, a second by Councilman Wu. Councilmember Tabatabai?
No.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Castellanos?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you. Good discussion. I thank everyone for their input. Now moving on to, is there?
I have a question.
Okay, report, request, comments. Question from Councilman Wu.
How soon we can get this effected?
Oh, good question.
I want to come to answer since we pass and 8 to 8, and then this since you are dispatcher, so how soon you can promote this to the senior and then to utilize, and how soon we can get this in rolling, and then how soon you can provide the database, come back to us, seeing the number, how many people utilize and how many people traveling outside the city and what they're doing, so we can get some data to see how we continue to monitor the situation, to expand it or to modify a little bit. Say, go ahead.
I think maybe by tomorrow we could start promoting it once they start calling. And about the data, maybe we should try give it two weeks, and then we could have a report on how's it going.
Awesome.
Very good. So, I like it. Yeah. So tomorrow, that's very efficient.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let them know of our festival in Glendora, please. The Festival of Frights.
Okay.
Glendora Avenue. Okay.
Glendora Avenue, I'm sorry. Not the city of Glendora.
Okay, she's
Avenue.
confused. She's thinking
Sorry.
about we're going to Glendora.
Yes, thank you for that clarification.
Everybody thinks it's Glendora. Well, I think we should change the name.
It's a whole new different topic. Thank you.
All right, council member reports, requests, or comments from anyone? All right, seeing none, we're adjourned.